Hi, this is Marie from Crochet A to Z and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button. If you have, I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone that's here today. And I also want to ask you to please push that like button. I would really appreciate it. It gets the algorithms out there so everyone can find this channel. So today I want to show you how to make these beautiful butterflies. They're great for mobiles if you want to make a mobile out of it. If you wanted to put them on an accessory, if you want to give them away as random acts of kindness, or just give them away. People love these. They're so pretty. They're so beautiful. And you can just give them as a gift, say thank you to someone. But there's a lot of different things you can do and use with these. If you wanted to add them on an Afghan, if you wanted to just add a couple on an Afghan in different colors, you could do that. It's just beautiful. So let's get started. Even a sweater or a hat. I'm going to show you how to make the small ones and the large ones. And I'm going to show you how pretty. Aren't they gorgeous? And all you have to do is pick, just pick out the colors you want. This is a great one for stash. If you have a lot of extra leftover yarn, this is great for that. You can make them in acrylic. You can make them in cotton. And I used an H hook for this. And I did use all acrylic yarn, whatever you have. If you have a lot of leftover yarn from different projects, this is great. So we're going to start with the slip knot. I go slow so you can follow along. You can write it down. You can get your, your crochet hook, whatever. I go slow so you can follow, especially if you're new to crochet. I want to make this so everyone can do this and be comfortable with it. So after we make our slip knot, we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are your chains. They look like V's. This is your working chain, not considered a chain, just your working. And this is your slip knot at the very end. Once you make 6, you're going to go to the very first chain that you made, and you're going to make a slip stitch in the very first chain that you made. And you're going to get this little circle. Now you're going to chain 1, chain 2, and chain 3. That chain 3 is going to count as a double crochet. Now, I want to mention, everything goes in here, and it's going to get a little crowded, but that's okay. So let's put 2 more double crochets next to this double crochet or chain 3 that we made. That is considered a double crochet. Now, once we do that, we're going to chain 2. And we're going to make 3 more double crochets. And then we're going to chain 2 again. And like I said, it's going to get crowded in here, but that's okay. And then we're going to chain 2 again. That chain 2 is very important. Now we're going to put 3 more double crochets. And you can go right over that little tail so that at the end you can cut it right off and you won't have to even weave it in. Little tricks of the trade. Chain 2. And you can scooch these right over if you want. It's going to make it, like I said, it's going to get kind of, so scooch it right over and make 3 more double crochets. Chain 2. Let's make 3 more double crochets and then let's do a count. And I do have videos on double crochets, single crochets, chains. So if you want to check that out, they're right out there. Now we're going to count how many we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, call them clusters of 3 double crochets. Now we're going to chain 2 again. And we're going to put 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to chain 1, 2. And we're going to put 3 more double crochets. And like I said, it's getting tight in here. It is tight in here, but that's okay. Because you're going to be amazed at how it all works, and it's incredibly pretty. So after we did that, let's count and see how many clusters of the 3 we made. We have, so let's do it this way. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. And we're going to chain 1 and 2. We're going to go to the top of this chain 3 that we made right in here, and we're going to just do a slip stitch. I'm going to go right through. Now, after you do that, we're going to cut this. We're going to leave long enough tail. And I'm going to grab this and put it over the crochet hook, and then I'm just going to go through and tighten that up. I'm going to look for that tail from the back, and I'm going to just going to cut that because I've weaved it in. Now I'm going to turn this around, and this is what it looks like. And like I said, it looks a little bit, you're saying, oh, but that's okay because these chain 2s are important. So now we're going to get our other color. And we're going to start, and I'm going to do a slip knot. And I'm going to I'm going to be working in the chain 2 spaces. That's where we're going to be working, in these chain 2 spaces. And you can tell. So what I did was I made my slip knot, and I'm going to go into whatever chain space you want. It doesn't matter. Just pick one, go in it, and you're fine. And I'm going to do this, because this is how I like to make my attachment. And I'm just going to, some crocheters just like to put it on there and knot it. This is the way I like to do it. And now I'm going to chain 1, 2, and 3. So this is my double crochet. And then I'm going to put 5 more double crochets in here. So I'm going to have 6 in all, because that chain 3 is considered a double crochet. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to put 1 more. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this next chain 2 space, and what I sometimes do, and what I like to do, is I'm going to put my crochet hook in there, and I'm just going to grab this tail and put it through one of those chains. And the reason why I do that is, to me, it makes it easier for me when I'm working, and also it's one of my little tricks. And also now I'm easier to control that little tail. And I'm going to weave that tail into the next 6 double crochets that I'm going to make in this chain 2 space. So I'm going to make 6 double crochets in this chain 2 space. So there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, and there's 6. And I'm going to go all the way around and do the same thing all the way around. 6 double crochets in every chain 2 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to go in this next one. And I'm just going to keep going around and making 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the chain 2 spaces. And I also want to mention, you're going to have, like I said, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 chain double crochets of the 3 together from below. So you had 8 sets of 3 double crochets and a chain 2 from below. So we're just going to go around and around. And you can choose whatever color you like, whatever color you want to work with. If you've got a lot of leftover yarn, you can make these. And if you don't have a lot of leftover yarn, you can buy some, or you can buy, I got these through Lion Brand, but these are wonderful. So it depends, like I said, and I have also little balls of yarn. So it's up to you. So we're going to go all the way around, and we're going to make clusters of 6. Where we made clusters of 3 below, we're making clusters of 6. And you count them so you make sure. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in the last, you're going to make so you just go around until you get to the end. You're going to hit 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now when you get to and you've done your last one, at the top of that chain 3, you're going to just do a slip stitch at the top of that chain 3. So I want to show you, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 clusters of 6. Below you have 8 clusters of 3 with the chain 2 in the middle. So now again, we're going to go, like I said, we're going to go in the top of that chain 3, and we're going to make a slip stitch. Now we're not going to cut that. We're going to leave that. So let's do this like this. And we're going to fold the project in half. But we're going to fold it in half, but away from you. And what I mean by away from you, instead of folding it this way, we're going to fold it this way. Now I want to mention, you'll know because this is the front of your work, because you worked in the round. You didn't have to keep turning this over and saying, turn it over. So this is your back end of your work. And you can tell because you can see how the stitches are made. This is the back end, so this is the wrong side. And while I'm back here, I'm going to snip these off because I worked these in as I went along. So I'm just going to take those and just snip them. But this is your wrong side, and this is your right side. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this and we're going to fold it away from you. And that's what we did. We folded it away from you. And it's in half. Now what we're going to do is and what I do with this is I go into the other side and I just put a little chain and I make a little slip knot from the other side. And then what you're going to do is you're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to pull out, and you chained 8. Now what you're going to do is you're going to get this chain 8 and you're going to flip it this way. You're going to find that if there's not enough, you can chain more than 8. I am going to chain a couple of extra. I did 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to flip it this way because I flipped it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through both of these stitches, and I'm going to try to get through both so that I can grab, and I'm going to pull this through, and I'm going to do that. And I want you to see what I did. And now I'm going to cut this. And once I do that, I'm going to pull this through. And then I work this. What I usually do is I work this in. And I'll work it into the inside. So I go in here. And I'll work that end. After I get that in there, I weave that once I get that in, and I'm just gonna, because sometimes the yarn can get frayed from when you cut it. So I'm just gonna weave this in. And then once I weave that in, I'm going to cut this end. so pretty. So see a butterfly. So now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you, and if you look at this, I'm going to get some black yarn. And I'm not going to make it too long because this is a smaller butterfly. And I'm going to just knot this end. Just a little knot. And I'm going to knot this end. And if there's a little bit left over that's not part of the knot, I'm going to just cut that. And then I'm going to get this and I'm going to put it in here. And I'm just going to put it through with my hook. And I'm going to just and there's your butterfly. And it's so, so pretty. And there's your little butterfly. Aren't they beautiful? And depending on the yarn that you use will depend on how big they look. But isn't that beautiful? It's just a pretty, beautiful little butterfly. Now this is the smaller version. And now this is the larger version. And I'm going to show you how to make the larger version of this beautiful butterfly. So why don't we get started on the next version, which is the large. And I like to call these butterfly love because we just love these butterflies. They're so beautiful. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with another color for our large ones. And again, we're going to make a slip knot. And we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And once we chain 8, we're going to go in to the first chain that we made, and we're going to make our circle once again. Once we do that, we're going to chain 1, 2, 3. And that counts as a double crochet. But it isn't going to be exactly the same because we're going with a bigger butterfly. So we're going to make 2 more double crochets, and then we're going to chain 1 and 2. Now we're going to go into this again, and we're going to keep doing it all the way around until we have 8 clusters of 3 double crochets plus a chain 2. So we're going to go all the way around, and we're going to work that tail in there too, so that we can just cut it after and we don't have to worry about weaving in. And we're just going to go right around. And depending on the yarn you use, some yarns have a different feel to them, so they'll be a little different. This is a Lion brand yarn, and for some reason it's acrylic for weight yarn, but the texture is different, and it has just a different, it's not as tight as the other yarn that I used for that smaller one. And I'm going to just tighten this up. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to chain 2 in between, and we're going to make a set of 8 clusters of 3 with a chain 2 in the middle. And I'm going to actually cut this end because it's been weaved in enough so that it doesn't get in the way. So if you find that your end starts to get in the way and you've weaved it in enough, just cut it so that you can just go right around and not have to worry about it in whatever size you're making. And then I'm going to count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, chain 2. We're going to make another set of 3. And then we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to put a double crochet, a slip stitch, at the top of this double crochet or chain 3 that we made. That's what I wanted to say. And we're going to just do a slip stitch. Now let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Now we are going to cut this because we're going to change colors. And with the large one, we'll be changing colors 3 times. And I'll show you. You don't have to, but I changed colors. I did another color. See, I changed colors here. And then I decided to use the red again, but I did change colors. And this one I'll show you. I didn't even stick. I did the one color, then I went to the next color, and then I went to the last color. So you change 3 times. Now, once I do that, and what I do is I get this and I work this in, because this way here, it's in the back. I can work it in and then I can cut it so it weaves in. So now I'm going to get my next color, and it's going to be this little yarn doodad that I got through Lion Brand. I love these little, it comes in a bunch, and I really love working with these. And I'm going to just pull this out. If it's not going to be cooperative, then I'm just going to work from the outside. And I'm going to do a slip knot. And I'm going to add it. And you can add it anywhere you want, but we're going to work, now that we did this, we're going to work in the chain 2 space. So right in here, we're going to make, I'll go right in there, and then I'm going to do is just attach this. And this is the way I like to do this. And now I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3. Once I do that, I'm going to go in again, and I'm going to make a double crochet. Just to mention, this is considered a double crochet, the chain 3, and so there are 2 double crochets. Now I'm going to make another double crochet. Once I make the 2 double crochets, I'm going to chain 1, 2. And then I'm going to make three more double crochets in that same spot. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to go into this next spot and I'm going to make 3 double crochets. And I'm going to just take this ring off because it keeps clanging. Sorry about that. And I'm going to chain 1, 2. And then I'm going to make 3 more double crochets right in that same spot. Now I'm going to go into the next chain 2 space and I'm going to make 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do into the next chain 2 space after I make 2 chain 2 and 3 double crochets. I'm going to repeat it. 3 double crochets, a chain 1, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. In every chain 2 space. So here's another chain 2 space. I'm going to make 3 double crochets. A chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. These are so vibrant. Depending on the colors you use, they really are just so pretty, so beautiful, and just lovely. You can give them away in random acts of kindness. You can just do so much with these. You can use them as applique for afghans, pocketbooks, whatever you wanted. And we're going to go all the way around, and we're going to do 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets, all in the chain 2 space of each chain 2 spaces. And it will get kind of crowded in the ad. It'll say like, oh my, this is really, seems like it's tight. Don't worry about it. I'm going to just get this out of here so that I can move it around a little better. Don't worry about it if it looks a little crowded, if it looks like it's getting a little curly, that's okay. It's all relevant at the end that it actually does look like that. So chain 1, chain 2, because the next space, the next row we're gonna do, you're gonna see how you do that one too. You're gonna say, oh my, we're gonna get all that in there, and it's amazing. And that's why these are so beautiful, is because of all the different pieces that go to putting it together. So in this row, I'm going to repeat that what we did was we did in every chain 2 space, we did 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Now at the end, in this chain 3, at the very top, we're going to do a slip stitch to join it right there. And now we're going to cut this again because we're going to change colors. If you don't want to change colors, you don't have to. It just changes the way it looks. It's up to you. So now what I'm going to do is I've weaved these in as I've crocheted. So I'm just going to cut these ends out so that they don't become annoying. So now this is what it looks like, and it's a little bit, if you can see it, it's a little bit curly, but that's okay. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to just get my crochet hook and just put it through the back, and it'll get weaved in as well. So that's row 1 and row 2, and I'm going to go close so you can see the way it looks. And it does look a little bit curly when you go like this. It's like, but that's okay. So now we're going to get our final color in for the color change of the butterfly. So let's do that. I'm going to use this color. And what we're going to do is another slip knot. I do them like this. You don't have to, but I like to do them like this to attach. So we're going to work in between your clusters. So in between your clusters, we're going to do work here. So in between your clusters, so I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So let's get started. So this is your chain 3 space. In your chain 3 space, you're going to work. So we're going to attach this. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do. I'm going to attach it. And then I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go back a little bit so they're not so close. Okay. So now we're going to chain 3 here, and that's considered a double crochet. We're going to go right in here again, and we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Between the chain 3 space of these clusters, we put 7 double crochets. Once we do the 7, we're going to chain 1, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to chain 3. Now we're going to make a picot stitch, and I do have a video to make that, but I'll do a separate one. We're going to go into this first chain that we made on this chain 3, and we're going to go in and pull up a loop, and we're going to go into the top of that chain 3, and we're going to make a picot. Then we're going to go right back in here, and we're going to make 7 more double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there it is. And I want to show you in this one. That's what it looks like. And there's your picot stitch. In this space here, we're going to put a single crochet right in this space. Then we're going to go into the next cluster, 3, 3, and the chains in the middle, and we're going to make 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once we do that, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go right in here and we're going to make our picot stitch. We're going to go in this first chain, pull up a loop, and go right through. And that's our picot stitch. We're going to yarn over, and now we're going to make 7 more double crochets. Now we're going to go in here and make a single crochet. Now we're going to go in between our clusters, 3 and 3, with the chains in the middle, and we're going to make our 7 double crochets. And we're going to do this all the way around. If you want to meet me at the end, you can. And that's fine. 4, 5, 6, 7. Chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. We're going to go into that first chain. We're going to pull that loop up, and we're going to go right through and make our picot. You're going to yarn over. We're going to go back in and make 7 more double crochets. Then in the next space, we're going to make, right here, we're going to make a single crochet. And I just want to pull that. We're going to make a single crochet right in that spot. So I want to show you 7 double crochets, picot, 7 double crochets. In this next spot, a single crochet. Now we're going to do 7 more double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, go into that first stitch, pull up that loop, pull it through for your picot, and then do 7 more double crochets. And I'm just going to pull this yarn so it doesn't get tangled. 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to do a single crochet in this next spot. Now, between these clusters and that chain, we're going to do 7 double crochets. We're going to chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. We're going to do our picot. And do 7 more double crochets after we do our picot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to do a single crochet here. And we're going to go all the way around with our 7 double crochets, our picot, and our 7 double crochets. I will meet you at the end. Once you reach your last cluster, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do 7 double crochets, you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and then again in that first chain of the chain 3s, you're going to go in, you're going to pull up that loop, and you're going to go right into the next first chain, and you made your picot, and then you're going to do is chain 7 double crochet, 7 more double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now what you're going to do is in this space here, you're going to make a single crochet. Pull that out of there. We're going to make a single crochet right there. And then once we do that, and I'm going to just tighten this stitch up a little bit. We're going to go right in here, make a single crochet. And then I'm going to go into the top of the chain 3 that we made, and I'm going to do a slip stitch from there to there. And it's going to look a little bit weird. Yep, that's like I said before, don't worry. But here's your 3, 1, 2, 3 colors. Now we're going to cut this off. And I'm just going to do this again. Make it real nice and tight. And I'm going to go in the back. I'm going to see if I have any, which I worked those in. So I'm just going to cut these because I worked them in as I crocheted. So I don't have to do any weaving in. But for this one, I will weave in because of that being where it is, and that's how I finished off. I'm going to weave this in to the back end, and I'm going to show you how I know this is the wrong side, and I'll just weave it in. And I'll just bring this in here, and then I'll cut this off. You can tell the back and the front of this butterfly because the wrong side has the intricate look of the stitches. The right side has what looks like the finished. So there's the finished against the intricate stitch formation. So that's how you can tell. So now what you're going to do is you're going to lay this down like this. And we're going to do like we did with the last butterfly. We're going to flip it this way. And I want you to see if once you flip it this way, if you turn this around like we did the other one, there's your beautiful butterfly. It's gorgeous. So what we're going to do now, what I'm going to do is, and it depends on you and how you crochet, what yarn you're using. I'm going to make this color, and I'm going to do the body of the butterfly. When I say the body, I mean this. So I'm going to use black for this. It depends on what color you want to use. Some of them I used the color of the butterfly, and then I used the black. So that depends on you and how you want to finish it. You could also finish it and end it with little beads at the top. Depends on how you want to finish these. They're beautiful no matter what you do. I'm sure you can add your own twist to these. So once you did that, and like I said, if you put it this way, there's your butterfly. Once you do that, what I'm going to do is where that single crochet stitch is in the middle, I'm going to put my hook through that because I like to bring them both together. And I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to pull it through, and then I'm going to attach it. Now, depending on how tight and how loose you crochet, you can see how many chains you need for this. So I'm going to say, let's chain 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I should go out a little. So now once I did that, I'm going to get this, and I'm not going to put it towards me. I'm going to put it away from me, and I'm going to flip it around. And there's so I did 15. So now once I got that right there, I'm going to go into that single crochet again where I went before, and I'm going to put my hook in and pull a loop up from the other side, and I'm just going to go, and I want to show you. See the 2 loops? So this is the one I had on my hook, and I'm going to pull this loop from the back. I'm going to pull it through. And it's a little hard to see, I know, because it's black. And there it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this is tight. And I'm going to cut this end. And I'm going to cut it a little long because I want to be able to manipulate it. And then I'm going to put this through. And I'm going to pull it real tight. And then what I'm going to do is after I do that, I'm going to get my needle and see where I'm going to get my needle and I'm going to put it in here because it's a little hard to see because of the dark. And I'm just going to manipulate this through. I'm going to pull it. And on the inside, you can see where that is, where I attached it. I'm just going to go in there. I'm going to attach. I'm going to just go in there and go right through. And I'm going to put my needle through there like that. See it? And I'm going to go one more time. But before I can do that, I'm going to put my needle through here, that loop. And I just want to make sure that it goes through the loop. And I may have to use because it is kind of in an odd place. But I do this on the inside. And I'm going to cut this now that I know that it's nice and tight. And there it is right there. And now that's fine. And I'm going to weave this in too. So I'm going to get this. And I'm actually going to pull this through here to go to the middle. The inside, what I call the inside. And I'm going to weave this in as well. So I'll just weave it in. And I'll thread it after I've got my needle in there. And then I'm going to cut that. And then I'm going to close this up. And here is your butterfly. And then I'm going to get another little bit of black thread. I should say black yarn. I'm going to make this a little longer. And you can decide, and like I said, you can put beads on this. You can decide how you want to finish these. But I'm going to just knot the ends. And I'm going to knot this end as well. And if they look a little too long, you can cut them back and say, well, it's a little too long. And if you want to make that knot a little more predominant, because these are because this is a little bigger, you can. It's up to you. And what I do is I just make it so that it's just enough. And then I'll cut a little end that might be sticking out, and then I'll look at this side and I'll say, yep, there's just a little bit. And then I find it's easier to do with your crochet hook. You just pull this through here. And you can make this tighter if you want. But then I just get this and I knot them together. And I just tie it. And I don't make more than one tie, because if you make too many, then it becomes bulky and you don't want that. And there's your beautiful butterfly. And they're just, like I said, they're lovely. They're just beautiful. And this is the finished product of your butterfly. And this is 7 double crochets right here. Then your picot stitch and 7 double crochets. And your single crochet in the middle to give it that, indentation of the wing. And this is the little one. Maybe I'll get a smaller one that has a different color so that you can see it a little better. So I hope you liked this tutorial of what I love to call butterfly love. And they're just so beautiful. The butterflies are beautiful. Love to see them out there. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of the butterfly love series of butterflies. Thank you. This is Maria from Crochet A to Z. I hope you liked this tutorial of the butterflies, and I look forward to seeing you in my next tutorial. Thank you. Have a great day, and love you all. Bye-bye.